Right, hey guys, how are we doing? Back on another video from 6, and today we are checking out Naruto's ungodly amount of chakra. Like, he does have a very high reserve. Obviously, Kurama helps at times, but he is an Uzumaki, and Uzumaki are known for having high chakra reserves. But I think Naruto takes it to the next level. This is going to be a little good discussion on that. I like Six's takes. And make sure you check out my Etsy shop and support the Patreon. Links are in the description.
So Naruto has a lot of chakra, right? Everyone knows
Yeah.
this, but how much?
Ooh.
That's where a lot of people get hung up at. So I'm going to be answering the question. I've compiled every relevant statement
No
or
way.
feat to figuring that out, and I actually think there's a way to sort of quantify the amount of chakra that Naruto has.
Oh my god. This is blowing my head already. Ha. Can't wait for this. This is going to be awesome.
Unironically, I'm gonna put an actual number on it. But let's
This is going to be awesome. Oh my god.
not waste any more time. If you like this type of video, obviously leave a like
I
on
am
it,
very
subscribe to the channel.
intrigued.
I'd appreciate it a lot, but let's get started.
I'm super intrigued. I'm very intrigued by this.
Watching Naruto episode 1 or reading chapter 1, you'd get the feeling Naruto has a lot of chakra because the guy makes 1,000 clones of himself using a forbidden jutsu.
Yeah.
See, this is insane because for normal guys, this jutsu is supposed to literally kill you.
Yeah, you can't do it.
Making just one shadow clone is considered to be a Jonin level technique because of the chakra splitting that it needs. So you can see how Naruto making 1,000 would be crazy impressive.
Yeah, it's mad.
I don't think
I've only just noticed as well that he's subtitled this video. Like, I've only just clicked on that thing. I know sometimes text comes up just to add to the editing, but I don't really.
Naruto can do this consistently just yet, but that doesn't really matter to the overall topic. I'm just trying to determine how
amounts
much chakra
chakra,
the guy
yeah.
has
Oh,
at this
okay.
point. This next part is more or less up for interpretation, but Kakashi thinks Naruto has the potential to surpass him. The databooks that cover this section of the story seem to imply that this is an ability of Kakashi's, which is fine. He just has this analytical type of eye.
Yeah.
The part I'm interested in is how he does this. We note that the Sharingan can see chakra and specifically how much a person has.
Right.
Itachi confirms this in his fight with Sasuke. So does Kakashi determine someone's potential based on their chakra supply? Perhaps. Maybe it's not such
What's up with the subtitles though? It said charcoal supply, so chakra. Is this like a? Oh,
a vague method though, and it has to do with their overall skills they've shown. But let's keep in mind that by this point, Naruto can barely do the tree climbing exercise that was assigned to him, and has shown zero progress with any other jutsu other than the shadow clones that Kakashi easily dealt with. So I think it's likely when talking about Naruto specifically that he's talking about his chakra supply, which says to me that even as a kid, Naruto has more chakra than Kakashi.
chocolate.
Perhaps not at his disposal, but just
Is this intentional? Is this meant to be funny? I don't understand. Oh well.
possessing in general. After going KM0 or whatever you want to call it on Haku, Zabuza also says that Naruto's chakra is too big to be Kakashi's. This is just far more consistency for Naruto as a kid, having Jonin levels of chakra. This all has a point to it, and there's obviously more to go over, but since Kakashi claims that your chakra isn't developed enough as a kid, it makes sense to say that Naruto would gain more chakra the older he got. And Jiraiya also says that he's going to teach Naruto some ways to raise his base amount of chakra. One of the better statements for Naruto's chakra unironically comes from Jiraiya when he basically says Naruto can ignore the rules of ninjutsu. Now, not literally of course, but he says that Naruto's training so far has been about preserving his chakra or sustaining a certain amount of chakra, but since Naruto's stamina is so incredible, which is integral to creating chakra, he can just throw out jutsu without having to worry about finesse, since there are plenty of moves that require a lot of chakra and nothing else, and that's when he starts learning the summoning jutsu.
Right, but what number are we putting on this at the moment? I wanted to see, like, I don't know.
I want to debunk a giant myth that everyone believes, probably due to a misinterpretation, but the Nine Tails does not mess up Naruto's chakra control. The only evidence we have for this idea is the statement here that quite literally just says it. But if you read it, that's not what the statement actually says. Context is very important
Okay,
here.
interesting.
Jiraiya notes that the seal is built so that any chakra leaked out by the Nine Tails will be suppressed and meshed in with Naruto's. He then says there's a 5-pronged seal on top of it that he correctly guesses was done by Orochimaru. Jiraiya says that this odd number seal placed on top of this even number seal makes Naruto and the Nine-Tails chakra mixed together in an unstable way, and because of that, it's no wonder Naruto is having a hard time manipulating his chakra.
Right, it's confused.
After this seal is released, Naruto has his normal chakra control back, and the only thing hindering him from this point on would be his own skill, not the Nine-Tails interference in any way. After this, Naruto begins walking on water just fine, when before he was struggling with it. Never able to walk on water. I would also mention that gathering chakra in the bottom of your feet is specifically what Kakashi says is the hardest to do. So this is a giant step forward for Naruto's chakra control. It just was never due to the Nine-Tails. Now that that's been cleared up for everyone, let's talk about Naruto and the Chunin exams. Naruto actually has more chakra than Kisame's clone here that fought against Team Guy. Neji sees Kisame and notes that Kisame has more chakra than anyone he has ever seen except for Naruto. This is only important because of the fact that Kisame is stated to have the most chakra in the entire Akatsuki.
Damn.
This is a clone of Kisame, stated to have only 30% of his chakra, but I think it's still pretty impressive. Whether or not Neji is still talking about Naruto with the QB cloak or base Naruto is kind of unknown, but regardless, this is a good statement for the amount of chakra Naruto has. Naruto also summons Gamabunta, and a pretty weird statement comes along with it. That being that Jiraiya says even he can't handle summoning him. That's weird because Jiraiya does summon Gamabunta,
like what?
not only as part of the three-way deadlock in the past, but he does it in the present as well against Orochimaru and Tsunade. It's worth noting that against Neji, Kimimaro, and Sasuke, Naruto could have summoned Gamabunta, as he mentions within the Neji fight that the Nine-Tails chakra he's using was even stronger than when he was training, which is when he summoned Gamabunta, of course, and he'd go on to bring out even more Nine-Tails power on Kimimaro and Sasuke later on. That's a pretty fair point to make, but it's also fair to mention that Gamabunta probably would not have listened to Naruto in those instances either, and he just would have wasted a ton of chakra summoning him. That's pretty much all I have for Kid Naruto. The rest of the things I didn't mention for him are either repeated feats or not worth mentioning when we talk about his own chakra supply.
Okay, cool.
Similar in this regard is base Naruto at the beginning of Shippuden. I have a whole video going over the time skip between part 1 and part 2 and how Naruto was sort of underwhelming when he got back, so I don't plan on repeating
Good
that
video,
stuff
check
here.
it out.
Just know that at the beginning, Naruto isn't all that impressive, and the same goes for his chakra amount.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like, oh, he's gone for like 2 years and then it come back and it's like, doesn't seem like much has changed.
First noticeable thing he does isn't even really all that noticeable
Just an excuse
unless
to
you
make
read
everyone
through the
grow up
data
a bit.
books. Everyone makes fun of Naruto for going off and training for 2 years with a signing and only learning a bigger Rasengan, which rightfully so. Like I said, I have a whole video on it. But Naruto is the only one who can use this bigger Rasengan, said so in the data books. And it actually kind of proves to us as well that Naruto can summon forth some of the QB chakra of his own will. As you can see here, Naruto has the QB slits in his eyes when doing the jutsu. And the data book says it's a jutsu that only Naruto with near inexhaustible Nine-Tails chakra can command. Even further confirmation of this is the caption for the jutsu hitting Itachi. It says that the impact is created from compressed Nine-Tails chakra. That means that we can start including what Naruto can do with the small Nine-Tails boost into account when talking about how much chakra he has. This obviously won't include things like the Four Tails cloak, but lower forms like the one he used on Itachi, and honestly maybe even the One Tails.
So where he's in like a human form, where he's not actually transforming into said Nine-Tails,
should be within Naruto's capacity for at least a short amount of time. I know I said I mentioned all the things I had for Kid Naruto, but this is one thing I didn't mention because I wanted to bring it up later in the video, which would be right here. Even though Naruto was clearly getting more chakra than he was able to bring out on his own during the fight with Sasuke.
Keep saying chocolate in the subtitles.
When he was given all of that one-tailed chakra by Kurama, he could still keep his sanity, meaning that he could control it to
he's
some
still
extent.
like himself.
And the same is true here on Tenchi Bridge, as Naruto is only unaware of his allies following his transformation into the Four Tails, which he admits later was him willingly letting it happen just because he wanted Kurama to get rid of Orochimaru. But yeah, let's move on so I don't get too off track here. We're talking about Naruto's chakra and how much he has. Now, luckily for me when trying to figure this out, Kakashi exists, and he gives Naruto a breakdown of his own chakra and capabilities with a training exercise that makes this all a whole lot easier. I'm going to have to get ahead of myself by just a little bit here, but it's important. Very important.
Ooh.
Kakashi tells Naruto that if not for Yamato suppressing the Nine Tails, Naruto would have 100 times his chakra, whereas right now, he only has around 4 times his chakra.
Okay, this is actually quite cool. You can actually use this to... Alright.
The actual translation of this is like 2 times or something like that, but whatever, that's not really important. Okay, well enough. Those statements exist,
okay,
but let's apply some more context to them. In the War Arc, Naruto and the Nine Tails share their chakra with the Shinobi Alliance, at least the remaining members of it. Lowballing this to even 1,000 members would fit what I'm trying to say here, but realistically it's more in the area of 10,000. We know that in the first day, the Shinobi Alliance lost half its forces, just like the White Zetsu army lost half its forces. So the number goes down from around 80,000 to around 40,000. Then we know that Madara wiped out the entire 4th division with his meteors, so the number dwindled down even more. So realistically, it may even be a little bit above 10,000. It might be a little bit below 10,000, but 10,000 is a safe low ball. Say that there's one division left by the time they get to Naruto. This chakra is stated to be more than 3 times Kakashi's amount given out to each shinobi.
Damn.
Kakashi says that earlier when the Nine Tails filled him up, he was around 3 times his normal amount, and then when Naruto hands out the cloak again, he says that the chakra is not only stronger this time, but there's more of it.
Damn.
So, like I said, if we lowball this, the Nine Tails would have around 3,000 times Kakashi's chakra, but realistically, this would mean he has more than 30,000 times Kakashi's chakra, because Naruto still has a bunch of chakra at this point, so he can do KCM too. I'm basically saying that Kakashi saying if Yamato wasn't suppressing the Nine Tails, Naruto would have 100 times his chakra, can't be talking about the full half of the Nine Tails. This is either meaning that while suppressing the Nine Tails chakra, Yamato also has to suppress a large portion of Naruto's chakra, or he's talking about the upper limits of the tailed forms that Naruto can tap into. Kakashi hasn't seen 4 Tails Naruto, so I don't think he's talking about that high, but he has at the bare minimum seen 2 Tails Naruto. You may be able to make some argument that maybe he's just adding on the amount of tails that would be required, since he does know that Naruto can use 4 tails, but I don't think that that's anywhere implied, nor do I really want to get into that. That's more so just headcanon and speculation, and I'm working with numbers here, and throwing unquantifiables into the mix aren't really going to help me. I, however, think it's pretty unlikely that he's talking about any chakra Naruto can't manage on his own, and is likely talking about the amount of chakra Naruto can bring out with his manageable QB amps, like the ones he gets with his giant Rasengan that I mentioned earlier. I don't think Kakashi is counting all of the Nine Tails. That's the bare minimum for this point at least. In case anyone wants to mention it as well, Naruto's chakra had been drained at the point he's entering KCM 2. So it's not like Kurama plus Naruto is what's giving out all this chakra. It's mostly Kurama doing all the heavy lifting. Then also to mention, Kakashi is talking about how Naruto is doing a training method that he can't even attempt to do. If Kakashi only had 1/4 of Naruto's chakra, he should easily be able to replicate the training method just with slower results, which would still be extremely effective. But that's beside the point. I think I've made everything extremely clear. The Nine Tails has more than 100 times Kakashi's chakra. That's really all I'm trying to say here, and then put a number on that. Kakashi tells Naruto that he's going to channel his chakra through leaves, and that he'll make 1 clone for each leaf of a tree behind him. Remember, the point of this exercise is to use what 1 clone learned and keep applying it, so it doesn't make sense for 1 clone to use 2 leaves or more. The average tree is going to have around 100,000 to 200,000 leaves on it.
How many leaves they have? Wow. That's a lot of leaves.
Meaning that that's the amount of clones Naruto made during this training exercise, because as you can see when we look at the tree again, yeah, it's completely bare.
Jeez.
Even after this is done, Naruto passes out, gets back up, and then makes more clones to continue the exercise. So it's possible that the 100,000 to 200,000 number I gave earlier was just a low ball, but we'll run with it for now since the next batch really can't be quantified like the first one can. And like I said, I don't really like throwing unquantifiables into this equation. I suppose I should mention that I'm not saying Naruto can just outright make 100,000 clones at a time.
Yeah.
I'm more so just getting at the fact that
He
the
can do
chakra
it.
capacity Naruto has is enough to make this much.
Yeah.
At one time, he should still be only capable of around 1,000. So we have a pretty good gauge for Naruto's chakra here if we use all the numbers along with the boost he'd get from KCM2, and then even more as an adult when gaining another half of the Nine Tails. So let's plug these numbers into some equations so we can get a number on how many clones Naruto should be able to make.
Oh, this is going to be so cool. I love it when people show numbers and stuff. Like, okay, right, this is good. Let's go.
So since we're going to have a lot of numbers to work with here, I'm not going to keep repeating the equation.
Okay.
Instead, I'm just going to do the equation once with the highest numbers and just say the outcome if you use some lower numbers. So we have 200,000 clones for base Naruto's chakra.
Right.
And then we'll say Naruto's base has 100 times Kakashi's chakra,
Okay.
like I mentioned earlier. And Kurama has around 30,000 times Kurama's chakra. So KCM2 Naruto is getting around 300 times more chakra with KCM2. So he should be able to make around 60 million clones.
What?
Not accounting for any unquantifiable amps with 6-path Sage Mode or Hagoromo's chakra, and only taking into account that Naruto got another half of the Nine Tails,
Oh my gosh.
he'd be able to make 2 times this,
Yeah.
which would equal out to around 120
million,
million clones.
What?
Like I said, that's only using the highest numbers. If you take that Naruto actually only has 4 times Kakashi's chakra, you'd get the conclusion that Kurama is a 7,500 times chakra boost for Naruto, meaning that he goes from being able to make 200,000 clones to 1,500,000,000 shadow clones. And then it can get even crazier because if you go with the OG translation of 2 times Kakashi's chakra, Kurama becomes a 15,000 times amp for Naruto's chakra, meaning he could make around 3 billion clones. And then with the other half of the Nine Tails, around 6 billion.
Jesus.
You get the point. The
Jesus.
amp only gets more and more impressive.
Insane.
I could keep doing this, but honestly, just speaking numbers over and over is kind of boring, and I hate math. I will quickly go ahead and address some debunks, like what if Naruto just plucked all the leaves off the tree and then put them in a pile and Naruto didn't actually make this many clones. I actually think this is a pretty fair interpretation.
That's really funny. Like, why would he do
Just
that?
being honest, it makes sense as it helps him manage time better, and it's not that outrageous of a plan. I don't think it's the case though, just because not only did Kakashi tell Naruto to make 1 clone for each leaf on the tree, if they did make a pile of leaves, it was never shown in the manga or anything. Obviously, like I said, I was picking the highball interpretation, but even if you said the tree had 25,000 or 50,000, the number still comes out to a pretty insanely high number.
Jesus, yeah.
But at his max, the highest interpretation Naruto can make is around 6 billion shadow clones. If you want to do some calculations yourself and maybe tell me what the lowest interpretation of this would be, you could go ahead and leave it down in the comment section. I'll probably pin it if someone actually does get that done. So if it was done, it's probably pinned. You can go down there and look at it now. But other than that, that's pretty much all I had to say for the video. Obviously, leave a like on it if you liked it. I had to do a lot of research for this, and I hate math, like I said. So please leave a like and subscribe to the channel as well. But other than that, have a nice day.
Cool. Wow, it's a huge number of shadow clones Naruto can make. That's insane. The subtitles was throwing me as well. Like every time it was, not every time, but sometimes it said Chakra, it would say chocolate. I think he's done maybe like an auto sub thing, you know, where like it kind of like it thinks it's heard the word and auto subs it for you, kind of thing. It's throwing me off a bit sometimes, but that was cool. That was awesome. I love it. Like yeah, it's a lot of shadow clones. It's got a lot of chakra. So yeah, make sure you check out my Etsy shop. Links in the description for t-shirts and hoodies that I've designed. And thank you to my patrons. If you want to have your name at the end of every video I upload, link in the description to the Patreon page. $1 a month for our support channel. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you guys for that. Thank you all for watching. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave comments down below. Let me know what I should watch discuss in future videos. I'll see you guys next time.